CELPIP speaking. It's the last part of the exam. It's the shortest part of the exam, but almost all students feel the most nervous for this section. This is your chance to demonstrate that you are fluent in English, that you can flex your vocabulary, you have good grammatical sentence structures, and that you can answer questions related to a variety of topics. Today, we're going to go through the speaking section of the exam with me, Scott. I'm a native English speaker from Canada, so I'm going to take the exam, and even for me, it can be challenging. During the CELPIP exam, we could categorize the speaking questions into 3 different sections, although there are 8 speaking tasks. The first few questions are personal questions related to you. So you are using first-person pronouns, and you should be able to give advice to other people. This is semi-formal or informal because you are generally speaking to friends, giving advice to your colleagues or your family members. So semi-formal. The next part is descriptive speaking. You will have a picture or something to describe, and you want to be able to imagine a scenario using adjectives to describe that. Like in the describe a picture, nobody can see the picture but you, so you have to use only your English vocabulary to describe what you are seeing. The last section, the last 2 questions, are about problem-solving skills. Problem-solving in English. So you are using persuasive vocabulary, convincing vocabulary, and more high-level sentence structures like conditional sentences, if-then sentences, as well as a lot of transitional words that are more high-level, however, moreover, in addition to, furthermore. These are the last 2 questions. They are the most difficult, and that's why they're at the end of the exam. So stay tuned to the end of the video. I'm going to give you one more piece of advice that I really think is necessary as you jump into the speaking part, and it has helped dozens of our own students at HZAD Education get a bandwidth of 8 or 9 for the speaking part. If you're taking the exam and you want to learn real strategies on how to boost your score for the CELPIP exam, go ahead, like and subscribe to the channel. We post every week, all the time, so you'll get plenty of information. Now, let's look at the exam and the platform. So today I'll be on the HZAD Education platform where you get CELPIP mock test for free with AI marking. Now there is over 10 for each section. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. We're doing the speaking test today, number 7. You could follow along at home. Now, the very first question is not marked. This is considered a warm-up question. It says, talk about your best friend. On the clock up here, we have 20 seconds remaining to prepare our speech, and I can see that it is a 60-second response answer. So I should prepare for 60 seconds, or have something in mind for 60 seconds. Okay, I only have 5 seconds left to talk about my best friend. Let me think. And
start speaking now.
Begin. Today I would like to discuss my best friend. Well, my best friend is someone who I've only met 5 years ago. We traveled to the same city in Vietnam, and we met on the beach. He was working at a surf school, and I was volunteering there. Soon we learned that we have many of the same interests, such as environmentalism, surfing, kiting. We both care about animals, and we just enjoy living a simple life. I really admire him because he is a strong, independent man. He doesn't rely on people, and he's quite genuine. So this is why he is one of my best friends. Okay, we're starting good. That was not marked. It is processing my score, and then we'll go on to the very first question. 30 seconds to think, 90 seconds to speak. 1.5 minutes. Remember, these are personal questions about you. Your sibling is starting their first day at a new school. Provide him or her with guidance on how to adjust to make new friends. Okay, I'm going to think for 10 more seconds. Guidance.
Start speaking now.
Hey, little Tom. Tomorrow is your first day of school. I would like to give you some guidance on how to make new friends. I understand going to a new school can be challenging and you might feel nervous. However, there are many people in the same boat as you. Other students will also be starting their first day. Try to be very positive and friendly. Don't be rude to anyone. I also think it's important to be your true self. Remember, you don't need to pretend to be someone else. Just be yourself. Be real. Be the authentic you. When you make new friends, it's important to maintain that relationship. So if they ask you to sit with them at lunch, it would be a good idea to say yes. Agree to sit with them at lunch. Just be a kind and genuine person, and always remember to respect others. That is all. It's not so easy. Okay, speaking number 2, this is still a personal question about you. It's going to be a scenario or an experience. Think of an occasion when you participated in a traditional ceremony or ritual during travels abroad. Describe the events, the cultural practices you observed, and the people you met. Reflect on the participation, how it enriched your appreciation for the community. That wasted so much time. Okay, rituals. Okay, I got one.
Start speaking now.
While traveling abroad in Vietnam, I had a wonderful experience to participate in a traditional ceremony. In fact, this is a traditional holiday called Tet Holidays. T-E-T. Tet Holidays in English is translated to the Lunar New Year. It's celebrated in other countries like China, the Lunar New Year. This is the largest holiday for the Vietnamese people. Typically, workers get 2 weeks off. They celebrate by feasting on traditional food like mooncakes and this other meat cake of some sort. It's like a meat pie. They visit their friends and family. They also clean their house 1 or 2 days before in honor to get rid of the old bad spirits, the bad energy. It really enriched my appreciation for the community. Okay, we need to take a second here to explain what just happened. So let's just let this time run out. We're not looking at it. In the last question, I knew that I had just a little bit of time left to talk about the cultural experiences. I didn't answer the entire question, and that is hugely important. I had 5 seconds left, and I didn't reflect on how it enriched my experience. So I made that mistake. But in the last second or two, what I did instead is I went back and I just said that sentence in order to capture the final piece of information. So that's really important to make sure you get
Start speaking now.
All parts of the question. Let's continue. All right, 30 seconds on the clock, 60 seconds to speak. Describe what is happening in the picture. Remember, you're using your descriptive vocabulary. The other person can't see the picture, and so you are going to describe it for them.
Start speaking now.
We are looking at a picture that is very clearly taken at the circus. I can see it's the circus because there is a dunk tank, There is a cotton candy stand. There are dozens of children. I can also see circus tents and balloons. It looks like everyone is having a wonderful time. In the top left side of the picture, there is a clown sitting in the dunk tank, waiting to be tossed in. On the bottom side of the picture, or the bottom of the picture, there are lots of children sitting, eating lollipops and candies, and having a great time. Interestingly enough, on the top right side of the picture, there are more adults. So perhaps they are sitting at the adult table. It is a very colorful, enjoyable picture. And everyone is having a great, fantastic time. That is all. Okay, I think I did talk pretty well. It's very important to use vocabulary like top right, top left, bottom left. This gives direction in the photo. But now I need to describe what is going to happen next. So think about what logically can happen in this picture. Don't use any inference from things outside that you can't see. Only talk about what is happening here. So my most logical thing would be to talk about the clown, although no one's throwing a ball at him. Ooh, that's tricky. Okay.
Start speaking now.
What I think will happen in this picture is everyone will continue to be enjoying their time. The children are eating their lollipops, so I reckon that they will continue to eat their lollipops. In the near future, the clown will be dunked into the water. So a child will come up to the dunk toss tank, and someone will throw the ball and hit the red circle. Then the clown will dunk into the water. That would likely happen in a few minutes. But so far, everyone is enjoying themselves. I think the adults will continue to hang around the ringen candy area, the cotton candy area, because they look satisfied in that corner. Some children are even holding hands, so perhaps they will go together on a ride outside of the picture. Okay, that was kind of hard because there's like nothing telling me what's going to happen next, but okay. Next part, we are going to choose an option. Don't waste time, choose an option. Your friend is looking for a way to stay fit and is considering options. You believe in joining a gym is the best choice to have a structured routine, but you also support the idea of taking a fitness class. Pick one, and on the next page, convince. All right, don't waste time. I'm picking a gym. Access to equipment, flexible work hours, personal trainer, controlled environment regardless of weather. Good. I'm going to pick this. I'm not wasting time. Well, I still have 30 seconds. Good. So on the next page, it's going to ask me to compare this option with a completely new option. And then you're given 30 or 60 seconds more. Basically, you want to compare the two, and you want to use sentences that show you can talk about both subjects. Don't only talk about your choice. Talk about both. And let's see an example. So your friend is listening to a podcast, and it might be the best way to reduce screen time. Convince him that the option that you have chosen is better. Totally random. So I need to convince him that joining a gym is a better way to reduce screen time than listening to podcasts. But like I said, you can't only talk about joining a gym. You need to show the examiner that you can compare and contrast two different subjects. What does that look like? Well, you might say joining a gym is good for these reasons. Bom, bom, bom. However, some people might think listening to podcasts will help reduce screen time. Although this is wrong because bum, bum, bum. So you want to acknowledge the podcast or the other option and just explain why that is not as suitable as joining a gym, my option. Okay. Hey Tom, I recently heard that you want to reduce screen time. Well, I have a great solution for you. I think you should join the gym because it is impossible to look at your phone continuously when you are at the gym. If you have a personal trainer, which is available, they will ensure that you cannot get distracted by your phone. While I know you like listening to podcasts, and that might help you to somewhat reduce your screen time, it doesn't completely take you offline. In fact, it draws you to your phone, but you're only using your ears, not your eyes. So yes, it reduces screen time. However, you are on your phone and may get carried away. For this reason, joining a gym with the flexible hours and the controlled environment would be the best way to be fit and reduce your screen time. Oh, that was a great answer. I really think that was great. So did you see how I talked about my option and then said the other option is bad because blah, blah, blah. All right, 60 seconds and 60 seconds. You want to start a business with a unique idea, but you need an investment. Your best friend is hesitant to invest due to the risk involved. Meanwhile, your mentor thinks you should gain more experience. Choose either. Convince your best friend that your business plan is solid and potential rewards outweigh the risk. Or convince your mentor that you are ready to take on this new venture and would value their support. Ooh, okay, I'm not going to waste time. I'm going with option 2 because it seems fun. So I am going to convince my mentor that I'm ready to take on a new venture. And now I value their support. So I have a unique idea. I don't have investments. Okay.
Start speaking now.
Hello, Mr. Calloway. Thank you for having this meeting today. As you know, I have a unique and rewarding business idea that is bound to take off in the future months. It is a service-based product, so we provide services to others. Now, I know you understand or you believe that I am not fit for this. However, I have been gaining a lot of individual experience and I have been researching online. I am personally motivated and dedicated to this project. Therefore, I would really value your support and your endorsement on my next venture. In return, I would be committed to you as my mentor so we can build a bond together and continue our business as a partnership. So thank you for your time and I value your consideration. 60 seconds was not enough. It's hard to do that. Get directly to the point. I wasted too much time talking about my product that I don't have. All right, 30 seconds and a minute and a half. Is it beneficial for governments to implement a universal basic income if financially feasible? Okay, this is like giving advice, but also personal opinion. So the person you are speaking to, let's say, is a crowd of people. You are presenting this topic. You are public speaking.
Start speaking now.
Based on years of history and experience, we as a society have learned that implementing a universal basic income, when feasible, greatly increases our citizens' standard of living. What it can provide is reassurance, consistent income, and hope for the future. Universal basic income will help those in the lower income class or lower middle income class to maintain a steady lifestyle. Therefore, they will contribute more to the economy. They will have more surplus income to give value and purchase products in our society. It creates a circular economy. Now, when feasible, governments are encouraged to do so. How does it work? Well, they may have to create heavy taxations on the wealthy, and some may oppose this. However, I believe that it'll create a more fair and equitable society in which the entire nation can flourish and become a strong developed nation on the global stage. So for these reasons, I believe it is important for governments to do so. Oh, we are good. We're doing this. Very structured. Pretend you are presenting it to a group of people. 30 seconds, 60 seconds remaining. You are in an old marketplace at a desk where the air is filled with a scent of spice and the sound of haggling merchants. One stall catches your eye, a vendor selling a variety of strange and magical objects. Share with a friend what you imagine this mirror might reveal and what the adventures can begin if you take it home. Oh my god.
Start speaking now.
Wow, quick, Tom, come over here. This mirror is captivating my attention. Can you look inside of it? There is something so magical and interesting about this mirror. I think it might reveal an adventure as we walk home. Have you ever seen Narnia? I picture this mirror will be the same. I will step into the mirror and there will be another world. A magical world, a snowy world, somewhere where the economy doesn't matter and work doesn't matter. It's a world without worries, with just pure freedom. It caught my eye because perhaps I want a world like this. I want some type of magical world that we can escape from reality, where we could enjoy a life instead of focusing on the 9 to 5. And that's what I see in the mirror. That was a weird question. Task number 8 is going to push your limits of imagination. If you're not an imaginative person, pull an idea from a movie, because these are not very logical. My score! I got a 10! Oh, okay. On the HZAD education platform, it gives you your direct CELPIP score. I am pleased with this because if you remember, in the last video I got an 8. So I am happy to use vocabulary like captivating, distracting. Nonetheless, there is room. My speech was very clear, and I hope you noticed that my speech wasn't too fast. I didn't mumble. I was pausing. I was speaking slow. That is intentional. What the examiners don't want to see is an unnatural pause that is too long because you're searching for vocabulary. You could speak slow and calmly and specifically, but don't take unnatural pauses that are too long. Task fulfillment, more depth and expansion would be good. Yep. I have a strong command of language. Good. Okay. On the next page, you're going to see a detailed feedback to how you can improve as an individual. It is personally generated. So it's an AI generated feedback to give you some tips on your 2-week plan. And sometimes it does give you a 4-week plan. But if you have a CELPIP 10, you are 2 weeks away from taking the exam, in theory. So go ahead, take the exam on HZAD Education, look at the platform. Today we did speaking number 7. You could do the exact same test at home. Now, as promised, I want to give you one more essential tip on how to really ace the exam, how to get over your fears, and how to just jump into the speaking part of CELPIP exam. Almost all students struggle with idea creation. It's not necessarily your grammar. It's not your vocabulary, and it's not your sentence structure. It's your idea creation. As you saw in this exam, some questions are strange and bizarre. So if you are running out of ideas because it's a topic you don't know or a topic you don't like, what you really have to focus on is, pardon my language, bullshitting. Speak anything. Say anything. It doesn't matter if you honestly agree with it. It doesn't matter if this is something that you have experienced. The examiner doesn't know and probably doesn't care. So what you really want to do is just create sentences based on someone else's life. as you saw in task number 8, there was a question about a mirror. I'm not interested in mirrors and a magical world, but I quickly remembered the movie Narnia, and I just based my answer on that. So when it comes to ideal creation, don't try to be honest. Don't try to have a real story. Say anything. Say any random ideas, and you don't have to agree with it. The main thing is that your sentences do have grammatical structure, that you're using a variety of sentences. Part number 7, part number 8, really flex your complex sentence structures. That is essential. If-then sentences, independent clauses, dependent clauses, relative clauses. You want to practice speaking those like you are an essay. As well, you want to have strong vocabulary and transitional words like however, moreover, although. This is what the exam wants. So that's all for the CELPIP speaking exam. If you found this information entertaining or fun or educational, hit that like and subscribe button so we can keep on making more. Head over to our channel, head over to HZAD platform so you can take the exam. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next week.